my name is Tanya Beaumont and this presentation is my submission for EDUC6019 Teachers as Researchers Assessment 2. My topic was what knowledge and self-efficacy do pre-service secondary school teachers have for teaching food and fibre production? Agriculture in Australia is experiencing a growing gap between producers and consumers, particularly within highly urbanised centres where communities have little to no contact with food and fibre production systems, creating a deficit in consumer knowledge. A literature review undertaken in 2018 for Primary Industries Education Foundation Australia found that the Australian education sector needs to evolve and adapt to support the agricultural sector to provide safe, nutritious, sustainable, affordable food for the world despite changing climatic conditions. A gap in the research was identified by Pratley 2016, finding incomplete professional development opportunities for primary and secondary teachers in utilising agricultural education material confidently and completely. My research question aimed to determine what knowledge and self-efficacy pre-service secondary school teachers have for teaching food and fibre production. An online mixed method survey was created and distributed to 84 pre-service teachers studying at an Australian university. As belief underpins action, the significance of this study lay in understanding pre-service teachers' current level of food and fibre knowledge and self-efficacy to better address areas of need through professional and resource development and support. The overarching research question designed to fill the gap in academic literature identified by Pratley 2016 is to know what knowledge and self-efficacy pre-service teachers held for food and fibre production and if they felt confident in incorporating food and fibre production into their subject area. Two sub-questions arose. Does the pre-service teacher's subject area impact their confidence to teach food and fibre content? And what barriers do pre-service teachers perceive when increasing their knowledge of food and fibre production? A short online survey was delivered via Google Forms to 84 pre-service secondary school teachers studying at an Australian university conducted over 3 weeks. An online survey method was employed for its quick response time and data analytic capabilities. A cross-sectional mixed method design captured pre-service teacher knowledge and self-efficacy through a deductive correlational design strengthened using inductive thematic analysis to identify themes expressed through pre-service teacher perceptions. Quantitative data was used to compare subject area and confidence level, while qualitative thematic analysis identified themes via coded short answer responses. Piloting the survey ensured reliability for comparable, consistent responses. Limitations to this method are the small sample size of participants, narrow subject range of respondents, and short time frame to conduct research. Only 10 participants out of 84 undertook the survey. The limited scope of participants surveyed reduced the validity of responses, affecting the credibility of the data. Concurrent nested design was used to analyse the survey data. Qualitative data was embedded into quantitative correlative responses to provide depth to the analysis. Thematic coding, using colours to identify themes, was employed when analysing the qualitative data. The data was imported into Microsoft Excel, shown here in Figure 1, where I was able to manipulate the data to compare collated information such as subject area and confidence level. To deepen my understanding, I thematically coded the short answer responses to identify themes from the data, as shown in the interpretation of the data section following. The graph shown here in Figure 2 represents pre-service teacher confidence in teaching food and fibre content according to the subject area. A limited response question asked about the confidence in teaching food and fibre content within a subject area. Yes, no, or somewhat were the only options available to respondents. 100% of English teachers said that they were somewhat confident, 50% of technologies teachers said yes, they were confident, and 25% of art teachers said no, they were not confident to teach food and fibre production within their subject area. My results found the subject area pre-service teachers specialise in influences their self-efficacy in teaching food and fibre production. Technologies teachers rated themselves as very to extremely confident in their abilities to teach food and fibre production, whereas English and arts teachers rated themselves as not confident or to moderately confident in their abilities to teach food and fibre production. 50% of respondents surveyed rated themselves as not confident to slightly confident to teach food and fibre production. This data was further analysed to include qualitative thematic responses to determine What was needed by pre-service teachers to increase their self-efficacy and knowledge? 65% of respondents listed online resources as the key influence on implementing food and fibre content within their classrooms, outlining relevant and engaging resources as important. Participant number 5 stated, "I am proficient at searching for online resources and can quickly brush up on topics and disseminate the appropriate level of learning I would require to teach the subject." 35% of respondents stated further research to increase skills would allow an integrated curriculum approach, evident in participant 1 responses. "I would need to do some further research." When asked in the survey what support methods would reduce barriers to food and fibre inclusion in your subject area, 90% of pre-service teachers selected resources as the main method to aid in food and fibre inclusion within their subject area. Professional development and workshops also ranked highly among participants, with 70% of respondents selecting these. My data indicates subject area influenced pre-service teachers' confidence or self-efficacy in teaching food and fibre content. Teachers studying English and the arts were less confident in their abilities to teach food and fibre content compared with technologies teachers who rated their self-efficacy as high. Bandura, 1997, claimed belief in our abilities powerfully affect our behaviours, motivation and ultimately our success or failure, making self-efficacy a powerful predictor of behaviour. Hoy and Sparrow, 2005, found some of the most potent influences on development of teachers' sense of efficacy are experiences during student teaching and the induction year. Teachers displaying strong self-efficacy exhibit greater organisational input and enthusiasm for their craft, expending more time and energy teaching subject area where their sense of efficacy is higher. Conversely, the opposite is also true. Increasing pre-service teachers' self-efficacy through exposure to design and technology in pre-service context could increase their confidence in teaching the content in a positive way. Exploring online resources and cross-curriculum connections through further research within the university context could increase confidence, leading to higher self-efficacy and confidence across all curriculum areas. 90% of respondents selected resources as the most beneficial support method to include food and fibre in their subject areas. Finding appropriate, relevant and engaging resources on the internet linked to Australian curriculum can be difficult, especially when incorporating content from a different curriculum area. Russo and Seco, 2018, explain online resources are easy to locate but may lack curriculum links and academic rigour. Bray and Kay, 2018, explain teacher resources need to be curriculum linked, classroom ready and flexible to be employed. Professional development does have a positive effect on teacher efficacy, where gaining new knowledge was generally positively related to teacher efficacy. Workshops run by agricultural professionals was identified by 70% of participants. A report conducted by Bray and Kay in 2018 found Australian teachers need to be supported and further engaged to implement agriculture in a classroom. As a member of the Tasmanian Agricultural Education Network, I have attended many professional development events exploring resource use and content incorporation for Tasmanian teachers. These events are often under-attended by school teachers within primary and secondary cohorts. Further research on the best way of attracting pre-service and practicing teachers to employ food and fibre production resources and attend professional development opportunities is needed. Limitations within my research are apparent in sampling participants. The small number of respondents reduced the credibility of the study, making the data in its current form untrustworthy and ungeneralisable. The participants surveyed do not represent the wider pre-service teacher community, particularly when 50% of the subject areas taught in the Australian curriculum were not represented. Surveying a larger population of pre-service teachers from a range of Australian universities would aid in making the data valid and generalisable. Question interpretation could have impacted my findings. The unconscious bias of my agricultural background has altered the lens through which I developed the survey questions. Survey participants with low knowledge of food and fibre production may have interpreted the questions differently to me. Readdress the research question, what knowledge and self-efficacy do pre-service secondary school teachers have for teaching food and fibre production? The subject area does impact the pre-service teacher's self-efficacy in teaching food and fibre production within this study, and The perceived barriers to food and fibre production inclusion across subject areas can be mitigated through resources being relevant and engaging, professional development opportunities and workshops. In conclusion, determining pre-service teachers' self-efficacy with food and fibre production is complex. Increasing pre-service teachers' confidence across all facets of teaching may lead to higher self-efficacy in teaching food and fibre production content in interdisciplinary subjects, creating teachers that are open to new ideas, willing to experiment with new pedagogy to better meet student needs, and who are more committed to the teaching profession. Reducing the knowledge gap between consumers and producers of food and fibre products can ensure safe and ethical food production and secure agricultural social capital to operate. There are 2 pages of reference material in the next 2 slides that I have used for my presentation.